My name is Kirsty, and this is My Life in Color. I am a beautiful, strong, confident woman, but I still need to heal. I have a rejection wound that stems from childhood. It doesn't mean that I don't love my family, but I want to say that I was made to feel a certain type of way. And the reason why I'm talking about this and starting this new series, Heal in Color, because when you start to gain visibility in your life, it kind of shines a light on the things that you need to heal from. I'm bright, bubbly, colorful. I've always had like a big personality. People treated me different because I was not conventionally attractive. I've always been like plus size ever since I was a little girl. And then I didn't know this term, but now that I'm older, I can put a finger on what the feeling was. I felt overlooked in the sense of because I was in this body that I would never get the recognition that I truly deserve. Now I sing, I'm an actress, I'm a model. So you could just imagine like the type of child that I was. I was very animated. As colorful as I am now, like I was probably 10 times more colorful because I feel like it's heightened when you're finding yourself and finding out who you are in the world, you know? So it was never a dull moment. I was always making up dances, making up songs, in the mirror, posing, doing all kind of stuff. As I got older, I just seen a difference in how I was treated, you know? And I want to get to a point in my healing journey where I'm not as triggered. So I really felt overlooked when it came to my talent. And I still feel overlooked now. I felt not paid attention to, you know? And I talked about in a video before, and this made my family so mad at me. I had come home to visit after 5 years. So I live in LA. I moved to LA 6 years ago. It's almost 7 years now. But I moved to LA 6 years ago. And I talked about how in families, there are roles that are assigned, right? And I talked about how what I feel my role is. I feel like my role is one of the underdog. When you're light skinned with long hair and you're thin, especially in the South, you are seen as a prize. Everything was always about this particular cousin, you know, and she may not see it this way, but I see it this way. But I can just always remember anything that she had going on, people showed up to. This particular cousin was always put on a pedestal, but it didn't affect our relationship in childhood and even in my teenage years. Like, I never treated her different because of it. Because I just understood that this is how my family was. It's very disappointing when I've tried to express how I felt, and it's felt like the feedback has been, well, that didn't happen, or you're wrong. And everything is perception, right? So, but this is my perception of how my childhood experience was. And I'm not saying that she's a bad person. I'm not saying that anybody was a bad person, but this is just how I felt, right? She was more of that beauty standard that the Black community holds on a pedestal. You know, and I hope that doesn't offend anyone. But like I said, like, I'm just telling about my experience. I could see the differences in how I was treated. I can't even remember being called beautiful in my childhood by the adults around me, but I can remember other people in particular outside of my family pouring into me, pouring into my gifts. And I'm not saying that my family never did anything for me, but I could see the difference from an early age. Like, a lot of people outside of my family actually invested into me. So I'm saying that I'm taking responsibility to heal myself. I brought this up in conversation, but they don't feel like that. I can never make them feel what I feel or see things the way I see them. And like I said, I'm not mad or anything, but I'm doing this for me. So I'm no longer looking for my feelings to be validated by them. I know how I felt, and I know what my experience was. And a part of that is accepting that they may never see things how I see it. A lot of this comparing came from us being the same age, the same grade. We graduated the same year. Things just started to get really weird. So fast forward, I decide that I'm going to move to Los Angeles. So I'm making some strides in the city that I'm in. I've always been a person to go after what I want. So I'm like, you know what? I feel like I need to put myself in another market. It was not a big push behind me making this move. I told a couple of people and they tried to talk me out of it. I hit the ground running when I get here to LA. Being in this world just felt so exciting. The disappointment that I feel because I can remember accomplishing certain things. I can remember being in my first TV appearance. I can remember doing a campaign. I can remember doing all of these things and making all of these strides and no congratulations from nobody. I mean, maybe a couple people, but that's why I say I want to get over what I feel that I didn't get. Because it's me, it's gonna be overlooked. And it's been some things like said about me and my family, about my character and what I wasn't ever gonna do, like that's never gonna happen for you. And I feel like the reason why it's ignored because they would have to admit that they was wrong. That box that they like had for me and tried to put me in, I broke out of that box. They ignore your success because they was wrong. And them congratulating you would be them having to admit that they were wrong, you know? And that really hurts because I love my family, and in spite of my issues with them, I have always celebrated everybody. And for me to live here for this time, actually 7 years now, in 7 years that I've been here, and none of my family has come to visit me. And I understand people have their lives going on, but I feel like I have the right to feel the way that I feel about this. I mean, this may seem all over the place. I'm just like giving what I feel. And this is a part of me feeling overlooked. It feels really, really lonely sometimes. It feels really, really lonely. And I really want to heal from this. I don't want this to bother me anymore. Because it's like, they don't care about my life here. And I know that they may get mad, but I feel like this is good for me. And it's healing for me. It's really, really lonely when you're doing something so hard. Like 1% is the amount of the population that gets to work in this industry. And for me to have booked things, been in movies, done campaigns, it's really, really hurtful for when you accomplish things. I do things because I know that this is my journey. I'm put here to inspire people. I'm put here to inspire people, and I'm put here to just realize my own power. It's really hurtful, and it feels really lonely sometimes when you don't feel acknowledged by the people that you love the most. And I know like this is gonna get around to them, but I just feel like if this inspires someone else, I feel like I'm doing the right thing about speaking about this. Like, you know, the people you love, like, you want them to be proud of you. And I want to share my journey and my accomplishments with them. But it's hurtful that it's ignored by them. It brings those old childhood wounds back into my mind. Because I want to move on from those things, but it's still happening in my adulthood. And that is why I started this series, because I'm going to be talking about a lot more. And I feel like this is very healing for me. So, like I said, I know it's going to make people upset, but I really woke up and felt like this is something that I needed to do for me. So I'm doing it. So I know, I'm not going to say that they don't care, but I know that they don't see things how I see it. So like I said, I feel it's my responsibility to heal this. It is my responsibility to care about myself and care about how I process this. I obviously feel a certain way. Now, I'm very proud of myself. I feel very liberated by what I've done. Like moved to the other side of the country by myself. Like, you know, I'm very proud of that. And I'm very happy about that, you know. And I'm still growing because this is not an easy place to live. The entertainment business is not an easy business by a long shot. But I'm still here and I'm still doing it. But two things could be true at once. I could be very confident, very beautiful, very proud of myself, and I can also feel triggered sometimes. So yeah, so this is my new series, Healing in Color. And yes, stay tuned because there will be much more. My feelings are valid and I have the right to express myself in a way that's going to be beneficial for my healing.